Good morning, my fellow YouTubers. It is Thursday morning, getting close to Friday. Hooray! I had so much fun laughing at Chuck Jines' most recently uploaded video. Chuck Jines, Chicago Chuck, Rat Trap is fun to watch. You know, in one comment, I wrote, you can love him, you can hate him, or you can love to hate him. You know, some of the things he says are just so hilarious. So he made this video. I knew I was gonna laugh right when I saw the title. I think it's called "No, You Are Not a True Biker." That's the name of the video. And so he gets on one of his kind of high horses and beats up on poor old Bob. So Bob writes in that, this guy Bob was like almost baiting Chuck Jines, because he literally wrote and said, well, I trade my Harley in every 2 years, and I don't work on my own Harley. I have a gold card. I guess I'm not a true biker. I don't have the look. I mean, he said everything he could have said to set Chuck Jines off. So Chuck Jines starts to just rip into this guy. You know, one, you're white collar. Two, you don't work on your strike. Two, you don't work on your own motorcycle. I don't know if you got to a strike 3 or not, but so poor old Bob really took a beating in that video. But let's talk about Bob. Who is Bob? Bob is a guy that probably was raised with good parents, maybe in a family with a couple siblings where the parents had high expectations on their children. So Bob worked hard in school. He ended up getting into college and working hard in college, and really wanted to make his parents proud of him, and devoted himself towards hard work and trying to please his parents. And he graduated, and let's say he went into business, and he worked really hard at his job because he had a wife and they had future plans of having a family, and he wanted to be like his parents, and so he did that. He worked really hard in real estate, let's say, and he developed a business that started taking off. And so he and his wife felt that they could buy a home and have 2.5 children and a dog and a picket fence. So they went for the American dream. God bless him. No big deal. The guy doesn't have time to work on his bike. He really, if he's lucky, maybe gets one Saturday or one Sunday to go out with his friend for, a 4-hour ride, maybe up to, like, if he lives in Meyer, Los Angeles, maybe up to the Rock Store, Neptune's Net. At least the guy appreciates Harley Davidson. At least he appreciates the fun of having your knees in the wind, and he is willing to take the same risk that all bikers take. If you drive highways, you're pretty much expected to drive 80. On a motorcycle, you don't want to be driving in the middle lanes. You want to go all the way over to the fast lane or the carpool lane, because it's safer, and you're expected to pretty much drive 80. So you're without a doubt, you're risking your life. And so Bob is not blue collar. He is not wrenching on his motorcycle. Maybe he doesn't try to look like a tough guy. He's a family man. He's probably devoted to his work and his family. And by golly, he looks forward to this Saturday, though, with his Harley and his friend or two. And he loves it when he can get up to the Rock Store and see all those other beautiful Harleys. Maybe he's like me. Maybe he's had a affinity and a love with Harleys ever since he was a child. I still have 2 books on Harleys that my parents bought me when I was like 12, and I still have them. And that really started my love affair. I mean, I wanted to get on two wheels when I was 3 years old, and I saw a mini bike in the front of a liquor store that my dad would frequent. He'd always go in, and I'd be sitting there salivating, looking at that little yellow Honda mini bike that was, a perfect size for me in like 6 months or a year when I turned 4. It was so cute, little knobby tires, big fat tires, knobby, real small little, I don't know what they called them, probably like a mini or something. But I started crying when I would see that, because I kept telling my dad I need to get on two wheels. At 3 years old, I was demanding that. So, but I also wanted to make my parents happy, and I am a white collar worker. I said it. Oh my God. The heavens don't strike me down. Chuck Jines don't come and find me and rant and rave against me. But I've also driven my motorcycle. But motorcycles were my only hobby. I was totally into surfing, and I got into mountaineering and backpacking and scuba diving, mountain biking. Oh my God, I've loved so many fun hobbies. I would never categorize myself as just one of those hobbies. So I wouldn't even want to say I'm a biker, because I still love working out. I still love backpacking, camping. So, it's all relative. We all have a life to live. And it's so easy for Chuck Jine to look down at so many other people. And he's really talking, then he goes into that, in that same video, really goes into how he is a true biker. And even a lot of the comments are like, just be, and don't spend so much time trying to convince others of what you are. Just be. One guy wrote a great comment, and it said, or in a video I posted yesterday, this guy wrote a comment about Chuck Jine saying, if he was more like Scotty Carequez, Scooter Tramp Scotty, or like Josh from Shade Tree Surgeon, or like almost all these other YouTubers where motorcycles is like the number one most important thing in their life, other than their wife or children or whatever. And they never talk about what label they are and how they want to be perceived by others. It's really kind of strange to see someone out there. I mean, I think it was Shakespeare that said, "Methinks you protest too much." And that's like someone that's accused of something and he denies it. But then after the accusation stops, he's still out there denying it and talking about it so much that it's like, wow, okay, maybe we do need to look at this guy again, because he's still out there professing his innocence over and over and over. And Chuck Jines is kind of like that with his true biker thing. It's like, okay, no one's saying you're not a true biker, so why are you always out there trying to convince everyone in the world that you are this true biker? And then the guy's comment said, if he wasn't saying that, he'd have all these followers saying that, and he could just sit back and revel, and all these people praising him for what it's obviously so important to him that he be perceived as this true biker. And so he wouldn't be out there espousing that he believes he is this true biker. He would just have adoration and all these people saying, wow, I wish I could live like you. You're so free. You represent the idea of American freedom on your Harley, just going wherever you want, and doing it cheap, because I got kids, and that trip up to Montana I took last month, I had to save for like 3 months just to be able to afford these hotel rooms and all these meals. But we camped for free most nights. We spent 3 nights in hotel rooms and like 4 camping and 1 just driving through the night. But a lot of breakfasts we just ate out of the ice chest, cereal and milk, and I still had to save for like 3 months to rent the car, to have all that money for gas, to have some extra money if we wanted to rent horses or do river rafting. So, even I think he has this idea that everyone that's white collar had it easy. He even talks in the same video about it's a whole generation of these people that just had no suffering. That's a perception that he's bought into that is not true. I mean, I grew up with a lot of pretty wealthy aunts and uncles, and so all my cousins were really under the gun. Their parents had such high expectations and they were under such pressure. The parents that do that the most are, I think, like Asian and Chinese, Japanese, and their suicide rates are so high amongst kids, like, 20 years old, 18, 22. And it's because the amount of pressure and the amount of expectations. So, middle class and upper class don't always have it easy when you're growing up. No, you've got a lot of pressure to succeed, to excel. In a lot of these families, I tried to do it with my kids. You try to get them super involved in sports, super involved in their school, super involved in getting good grades and being on the honor roll. And, they got full schedules, thicker than most adults, and kids like downtime too. Kids, like to relax a little bit too. But, a lot of these, so I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I don't know, it's just his being extremely judgmental and beating up on poor old Bob. But I don't know where I'm going anymore, but I am arriving at work, and so I'll shut up and say Chuck Jines is fun to watch no matter what, I think. Even if he is kind of putting his foot in his own mouth and possibly showing some insecurities. Yeah, I still find it entertaining. Anyways, I hope you guys can just find the entertainment as well, and kind of laugh at when he gets into certain ranting and raving. Anyways, it's been fun talking to you this morning. Write a comment about Chuck down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And have a wonderful Thursday. Bye-bye.